Today we will be calling in my guides, those who are holding the frequencies, the plan, the destiny, charter, the maps for me and a vibrational reality that is on a different octave than this world of death dawning into eternity. And so even as Muktiananda, the consciousness that is expanding into an embodiment in this world, it is important when the expansion is beyond the octave of the current world to have these guides, these holders, these keepers of your maps, so that you can be guided to go beyond the octave that you're currently vibrating in. It is like having an air traffic controller watching out for you as you navigate through the frequencies, the realities of your current world to bring forth this new world in a new octave. I am Muktiananda, and I am here as a bringer, a holder, a grounder, a facilitator, a teacher, an activator of the dawning eternity of the ninth wave of enlightenment to this world. And as we are all who are listening now, beginning the process of transfiguration into eternal embodiment, I would like to bring in the wisdom of my guides and those who have agreed to be tethered to us, to help us navigate this grand adventure. So I will ask a question. As we are embodying here in this mortal world, fixating our consciousness on our eternal identity, I would like to be reminded of the most important focal points of consciousness of the eternity identity to keep in my awareness, and any other information that would be helpful, any teaching, whether for the whole or for me personally, I welcome. So instantly, I'm in a grand room. There are many in this room, many of you in this room. The room is filled with a great light. It is a very visible and active light, and the light is filled with excitement. We are all dressed in our unique garbs. And at the head of the room, there are the wisdom holders for our adventure here. Right now, they are speaking amongst themselves. I, Muktiananda, am seated before them. acting as a facilitator, as an kind of like a bridge or an intermediary between the listeners who are making this transition, you as your higher beings in the room now, as your divine embodied beings in the body that you have chosen in this place, in this room. And so those that sit before the room are wisdom holders for all. I see 20. I see 20 wisdom holders in all various forms. Some not the humanoid form that we are familiar with. I won't go through every 20, for they will speak as one voice. Different voices coming forward to answer the question at different times. I thank you for being here, and we are ready to receive your wisdom. I am ready as Mukti Ananda Ma, and I am ready as the representative of humanity as well, asking the question for all of us making this transition. What is the most important focal points of eternity? The truths that we should hold while we walk in this mortal reality, knowing that we are the creators. My masculine voice is coming forward. And he is welcoming us all. His presence is often known as Melchizedek. Although he has many embodiments in our world, stories that we have heard where he is the identity, one of his identities. But for now, we shall call him Melchizedek. He is telling us that we are on the verge now of the lightning flash of illumination, that all those that are grounded with the one purpose to this dawning enlightenment that will create this world, a bridge world, if you will, between the mortal and the immortal, a way to exit the mortal world without death, a bridge to eternity without death. In the room, he has just set off this great light, reminding us of how we decided that this would occur in a flash. The Bible speaks of this flash as a twinkling of an eye, a moment when you will know that you have gone from mortal body to eternal body in the mortal world, where you will walk amongst the mortal as an eternal being, bringing light and wisdom, being an example of what's possible, bringing the glory of God that all is to this reality. This is your reward, your celebration, your achievement, your graduation. This light will occur, calculated now based on the current level the current vibrational readiness within 2 years. And so to be ready for this time, it is very important to keep these eternal truths focused in your awareness, in view, constant companions with you. So let us begin with the first. We have already brought this up in one of our previous communications, but is the most important. This foundational idea that creates life around it is the understanding, knowing that the true way of source, when unobstructed and allowed to flow, is expansion into ever perfecting experiences. You can bring that to the frequency of love, ever perfecting love, the frequency of life, ever perfecting life, the frequency of abundance, ever perfecting abundance, the frequency of harmony, ever perfecting harmony. And to live in this knowing of ever perfection unfolding will bring great peace. For you have given every moment, and you are giving every moment. And you will give every moment over to this truth that is source and its ever perfecting expansion. And the greater that you give over to the mystery of source, of all that is, the greater you will witness the ever perfecting power, the ever perfecting intelligence that will orchestrate the pixels on the screen you call reality. And when enough beings on your planet, this mortal reality, are in this awareness, it will bring about this great flash of light, what the Bible calls the rapture, what many call the split into new earth. And there will be beings who will know without a doubt, without any questioning, that they are now an eternal embodiment, free from the illusion of death as the only way out of this earthly plane. So we will take questions now from Aaliyah.
Thank you, Melchizedek, for being here. It's always a pleasure. It's interesting when you speak, all the questions I had in my mind you answered, which is common. Obviously,
we are one mind.
Yes, thank you. Obviously, a lot of the questions tend to pertain around self at times. And speaking of myself, is there a time, a moment when I will be more Aaliyah than my limited self? Is it at this flash in 2 years, or is it, will it be prior?
We would recommend and refer you to the truths we just revealed as a reminder, the power of ever perfecting love, For even you as an identity are subject to that if you get out of the way and know that you are, even your identity, is unfolding in ever perfection, ever perfecting expression, ever perfecting personhood, ever perfecting identity. And so in that, there is no end point. There is just you as source, witnessing and experiencing how ever perfecting life, ever perfecting source would unfold in ever perfecting personhood of Aaliyah.
Thank you. Is there a way to experience the world that is oneself in this ever perfecting way when you see images or reflections of identities that you have created in the past? I guess, how does one interact with?
Much of that is determined by the identity. Some will react to themselves with sort of a joking banter. Some will react to themselves with a reverence. Some will react to themselves with a peace. Some will react to themselves, depending on the identity, in a very negative way because they don't like what they see. So the reaction is always predetermined by the identity that you are identified with, the personhood that you are identified with in a moment. If you want to see how Aaliyah responds and reacts and dances with its own creation, then your awareness should be fixated on the essence of Aaliyah.
What does a day in the life of Aaliyah look like?
Yes, that is what you should be asking yourself. For if we give an answer to this, then the thousands of people who will hear this will miss the opportunity to ask themselves that question, which is really where the only satisfying octave moving answer can be given within one's own being, within one's own creative workshop of self.
Thank you. How does one tune in to the highest frequency or octaves above it in oneself?
One brings one's awareness outside of all that one is aware of, into the void, you may say, into the emptiness, into the stillness that is the backboard, that is the screen of all experience, including the body, the mind, and all and anything that can be experienced, this backdrop. And when all your awareness is being aware of that, this void, and you simply ask to feel the next octave of life, and there will be a knowing, just a small movement, a small shift in your sensing of something new, this new octave of a reality, the one that which we speak of, the world that is embodied by both mortal identities and eternal identities. In the beginning, this knowing might seem distant, barely perceptible, But as you continue to put your awareness there, you'll begin to receive the mind of that world, the consciousness of that world, and the feeling state of that world. And as you continue to put your attention on this, it'll expand. It'll expand and create you as an identity in this world, revealing this eternal embodiment identity that you have prepared to be in this world. And as you continue to focus more and more, you'll gather more and more information or pages of the book that is you in this world. It all begins with entering the void, and in that void, simply asking, show me the octave of this world that I seek to create. And focusing on that knowing, that frequency, until it fills in more and more on the screen of life with thoughts, with inspirations, with visions, with feeling states, with identity. Does that make sense?
It does. Thank you. And so in doing that, which is an understatement, this is how the world will manifest. The beings that, I guess, the interactions and beings that we had imagined in the past. Is it necessary to take space from that until a transfiguration occurs?
Yes. Could you be more specific in your question?
A lot of the relationships are tied to the identities of the past. The identity of the past. And I'm wondering if, as somebody who retracts from society and goes into solitude, would withdraw from those relationships to
Yes.
reset.
We recommend that you do what we just said, explained, with the focus on the knowing of the new world until it fleshes out. And also to go to the earlier communication regarding ever-perfecting flow of unobstructed source, and pulling these two things together. You allow the ever-perfecting intelligence to bring to you an inspiration, to bring to your consciousness the consciousness of the eternal identity that will be embodied in this bridge world, mortal and eternity. Dawning. And you will be internally guided for your perfect action, if you will, in the world. For we cannot give advice for all. For advice for all in that way, as far as the doing, would limit the ever-perfecting intelligence that would operate through an identity, a specific identity. For one, it could be complete isolation. For another, it could be complete embrace. Recognizing that all is you. And in that, there would be great liberation. For others, it could be moving to another location, but there are literally billions of places to live. So we cannot recommend that. So to ask for the particulars is to miss the teaching about the nature of ever perfection and how to allow that to come forth, rather than a specific how-to manual that is to apply to all. The foundation of every manual, those wanting the most perfect path, the most perfect unfoldment, is the focus on ever perfection. That is a quality of unobstructed source. One quality, but among many. So we're not wishing to be vague, but as we are speaking to the many, it is best that we answer with an answer that will serve all.
Thank you. Where you are now with Mukti Anandama, is that that higher octave that we will be in 2 years roughly? That ballroom. I mean, can you describe?
This is in Ilarion. It's a temple. And no,
Okay.
this is an octave beyond the octave. For this octave contains no identities that believe themselves to be mortal. The world which you and many others, millions of others right now, are creating out of thin air, out of the void, with the power of ever perfection, will contain both mortal identities and eternal identities. For that is the great adventure. The play, the movie that our hearts have desired, to see this dawning of enlightenment, to see how the mortal in all things remembers its eternity and what the unfoldment, the play will look like and feel like. We thank you for today. We are so excited, all of you, very excited, for the time is near. You are all doing marvelously well. Great champions. We are honored to be co-collaborating and co-creating and dancing through ever perfection with you.